My lovely, lovely, wonderful people, a pleasant Sunday afternoon to you. If you have not yet made Jesus Christ your personal Lord and Savior, do so now. He's the best being ever. Certainly, that would be the best decision you would ever make. Wow. Ascot Primary controversy and urgent need for inclusive school leadership. And I don't think it's just this school. Trust me. So recent public debate has been sparked by reports that students at Ascot Primary School were barred from wearing graduation gowns because of low academic performance on the primary exit profile PEP. While the Ministry of Education has rightly condemned the decision, this incident should serve as a reminder that inclusion must be embedded within the culture, policies, and the leadership of every school across Jamaica. Denying students the opportunity to participate fully in a significant milestone not only undermines their dignity but also contradicts every child's fundamental right to meaningful participation in school life. More importantly, it exposes systemic weaknesses in our education system that demand urgent attention. Discussions about inclusion often focus on teachers and their responsibility to differentiate instruction and meet the diverse needs of students. However, the Ascot Primary incident demonstrates that inclusive education extends far beyond classroom instruction. It begins with school leadership. Leadership, leadership across the country in every sector, in every field is key. The Ministry of Education should seize the opportunity to pursue inclusive policy reform that addresses schools' culture and leadership practices rather than limiting inclusion to what happens inside the classroom, which I agree with. Role of school principals. Decades of research consistently show that school principals' beliefs and attitudes significantly influence the success of inclusion. That's true. When school leaders value inclusion, they foster environments where every student feels respected, valued, and capable of succeeding. Conversely, when leaders hold exclusionary beliefs, those attitudes are reflected in school practices. According to the principal of Ascot Primary, the decision to separate students was intended to motivate rather than humiliate them, which I suspected. While the intention may have been well meaning, it reveals a concerning misunderstanding of the principles of inclusion. Exclusion doesn't motivate, it diminishes self worth, damages students' confidence, and sends a harmful message that academic performance determines their value and sense of belonging, which I had made a video basically tantamount to saying these. This incident raises important questions about the preparation and professional development provided to school leaders. Are principals receiving sufficient training to lead schools that embrace equity, belonging, and inclusion? Do leadership development programs adequately prepare them to make decisions that uphold every child's dignity? School principals occupy a unique position in shaping school culture. Every decision they make communicates what is valued within their schools. Inclusive leadership means ensuring that every student, not only the highest achievers, feels seen, respected, and celebrated. In an earlier newspaper article, we argued that inclusion must extend beyond the classroom to encompass all aspects of school life. We recommend that students with disabilities be fully included in school events, extracurricular activities, and playground experiences rather than participating in separate programs. The same principle applies here. Segregating students based on academic achievement is equally inconsistent with the values of an inclusive education system. This exclusion thing has been going on from I was going to high school still, Exclusionary practices are not simply school level issues. They are systemic, they're systemic issues that require leadership at the national level. It's a problem that has been going on before my time in high school and during my time and after. Too often, conversations about inclusion center almost exclusively on teachers, whether they're implementing inclusive instructional practices and their professional learning. Yet, school teachers make decisions every day that either strengthen or weaken inclusion within their schools. They should be held to the same standard of accountability expected of teachers the Ministry of Education should use the Ascot Primary incident as a catalyst for meaningful reform by strengthening expectations for inclusive school leadership across the education system. The ministry must prioritize sustained professional learning for principles that focus specifically on building inclusive school culture. Cultures. This professional development should move beyond one-off workshops that emphasize theory alone and which may not have long-term impact on day-to-day leadership practices. Instead, it should provide ongoing practical learning opportunities where principals engage with real-life case studies, reflect on challenging situations, collaborate with colleagues, and develop strategies for making inclusive decisions. Research demonstrates that the most effective forms of professional learning are job embedded, ongoing, tied to professional competencies and meaningful to participants. Building inclusive schools requires more than policy compliance. It requires a shift in mindset. School teachers must understand that inclusion is not an initiative to be implemented, but a philosophy that should shape every decision they make. Every child, regardless of academic performance, disability, or background, deserves to experience a genuine sense of belonging and to participate fully in the life of their school. Jamaica is a signatory and state party to the UN Convention on the Rights of the Child, CRC, thus further reinforcing the importance of respecting the dignity of every child. Schools, and particularly school principals, play a key role, a fundamental role, almost a paramount role in ensuring the CRC is upheld. The Ascot Primary controversy should not simply be remembered as an isolated incident. It should become the turning point that prompts Jamaica to strengthen inclusive leadership and ensure that every school reflects the values of equity, dignity, and belonging that our education system aspires to uphold. And I agree. And in as much as I agree with that article, I will still like to add we have to be careful that we do not strangle the better in order to laud the good, that we do not suffocate the best in order to praise the better, meaning it is very important for the inclusion. He was here, I can't even remember if it's a male or female writing the article, talking about inclusion, people with disabilities participating in all the different extracurricular activities. Notwithstanding, there are some extracurricular activities that may prove a little bit difficult, especially more heavily contact sports. If you have football or basketball or one of those balls that you hit with the thing there, it may prove a little bit difficult. And that is why even with like Olympics, you have the para, what you call it there now, for those with disabilities Olympics, because obviously, they can't enter the regular ones, for some reason, for some challenge or disability, as the case may be. So there has to be some tweaking. So I'm saying all of that to say this. We don't want to just talk about, inclusion and so on and leave the people who really perform at optimal levels out and make them feel, okay, so boy, I can't be specially rewarded for my hard work. And I don't agree that it must be done at such an ostentatious event like a graduation. But we have to be careful that we don't, as I said, suffocate the better for the good and strangle the best for the better. In some cases, we just have to know to navigate the waters where people still feel the sense of belonging and self-worth. Guys, you know what to do. Read TikTok and YouTube. Subscribe. Give me one of those lions, and you can follow me on Instagram.